Hello and welcome to the June 19th, 2016 episode of the 3IT Guys. My name is Jeremy Like. I am actually flying solo tonight. There was some miscommunication between me and the other guys, and I don't believe they're joining me. All right, now I've got the feedback out of my ears. Tonight's episode, I've got a few topics that we're going to cover, and so this will probably be fairly short, but hey, we'll get this show on the road. First topic on my list is Computex 2016, and for those who don't know, Computex is one of the large consumer electronic shows in Taiwan. Takes place every spring. And so there were several announcements. AMD is the first on my list, and they announced availability of their APUs in laptops. I believe HP is their partner for that, and those are available right now. No real word on when they're going to be releasing the AM4 platform and get that going for us. But hopefully by the end of the year, we'll start seeing more information and product availability on that. Next company that I wanted to mention is Synology. They've got a few products out, well, quite a few products out actually that are interesting. The ones on my list, their new router, that RT2600 AC, so that increases the speed from AC 1200 to AC 2600, and they've got a new version of the router software, Synology Router Manager 1.1, coming out with that. The other one that was particularly interesting to me, and it's more of an enterprise item, is the Flash Station FS3017. This is an all flash memory unit, no spinning hard drives in it, which seems to be a direction that several companies are going. They've of course got the DS 216 Plus 2 out, DS 416 Slim, 916 Plus, 716 Plus 2, 416 Play, and a few rack mount options. So worth checking out. I've been very happy with the Synology products that I've purchased over the last few years, and would absolutely recommend those, at least for people to take a look at as an option. Another one, relative newcomer to the NAS segment, is Asus Store, and this is a wholly owned subsidiary of Asus that has made motherboards and other computer components for several years now. They announced their ADM 3.0, which is their operating system, customized Linux operating system that runs their NAS boxes. And their features that they brought to this were enhanced My Archive cold backup storage, Surveillance Center application, which is, of course, familiar to the Surveillance Center application found on Synology and QNAP, and some new multimedia apps. They also announced and had on display a couple of new Tower NAS models, the more of the desktop versions, an 8-bay model and a 10-bay model, and two 4-bay rack mount models, as well as a 12-bay rack mount model. Moving right along, we've got QNAP, which made a pretty big announcement of their QIoT, which is, of course, QNAP Internet of Things. It's their private Internet of Things cloud platform. This is a little bit intriguing, and I'm going to be interested to see where they might take this. They also announced a few NAS boxes for video editing purposes. The TVS 82T Thunderbolt 2 series. So there's 3 of those that they put out. And then the QNAP TS453A was an updated model. It's actually the winner of the Best Choice Award. Moving right along. One of my topics for tonight is study with a buddy. So, as I'm sure many people can attest, studying in isolation is not necessarily the most productive thing in the world. So I have had the opportunity recently to start studying with other people. Usually it's more of a one-on-one thing, but hopefully the groups will start picking up a little bit. But, you know, if you have the time in your schedule to do it, absolutely consider putting something together and studying with a friend, bounce ideas off each other, set up lab environments, whatever it takes to get you to the point where you want to get those exams knocked out and get some certifications. Okay, so Apple's Worldwide Developer Conference happened over the past week. One of their big announcements, since I'm more interested in the desktop stuff, was OS X 10.12 is actually getting renamed. It's, instead of calling it OS X, they're now calling it Mac OS with a lowercase Mac, uppercase OS to match tvOS, iOS, etc. You know, their other Watch OS and their other things. So one of the big features of the new version of Mac OS is going to be Siri on the desktop. I'm not completely convinced on the usefulness of this, since you have to sign your life away to the iCloud ecosystem to get the fullest use out of this feature, which I'm not ready to do. But many people, especially those people that own iPhones, are going to welcome this as a new feature. Excuse me. The other desktop feature, and actually this will impact all of their platforms, is the Apple File System, or APFS. It's going to be released as a preview version, and probably we'll see it actually implemented in the operating systems across all the platforms, probably in 2017 or 2018. You know, a new file system is the last place you want to have bugs and have your information get corrupted, and you know, it would be a bad thing for that to happen. So I applaud them on taking their time doing this, and hopefully when they get all the bugs worked out, they will release it, and it will be better than the current HFS Plus, which is really showing its age even compared to NTFS and many of the various file systems. Excuse me, file systems on Linux. And so I guess it really is going to be a short episode. The last topic on my list is just a miscellaneous thing due to a work requirement that I won't really elaborate on. Even though I was A+ certified under the grandfathered in for life, good for life version back in 2006, they wanted me to be current on my A+ certification. So I got the 902 out of the way on Friday, and I am now A+ CE certified. Whoop-de freaking do. And now I can actually focus on something that is a little bit more interesting to me, like Linux Plus. My goal being within the next 6 to 8 months to really do a deep dive into that and brush up on areas that I'm still a little rusty on, and get that certification out of the way, and then start thinking about the next one, which, if I have my way, it's going to be CEH, which is Certified Ethical Hacker. But one step at a time. The next thing is going to be Linux Plus, and we will go from there. So, wow, 14 minutes. As always, if you have questions, comments, some particular topic you would like to see in a future 3IT Guys episode, please feel free to leave comments on our YouTube page. We would be more than happy to take those into consideration for a future episode. And hopefully next week we will have all three of the 3IT Guys back. And I look forward to that episode. So until then, this is Jeremy Like signing off for 3IT Guys podcast. Have a good night, everybody.